The loudest silence in the world is not the one you find in an empty room. It is the silence that screams inside your chest while you are sitting at a dinner table surrounded by the people who would die for you. You are laughing at a joke you did not hear. You are nodding at a story you do not feel. And underneath your skin there is nothing. No anger, no sadness, no joy. Just a vast, cold, endless desert where your heart used to be. That is the silence that breaks people. That is the emptiness that terrifies you more than any enemy ever could because you cannot fight it. You cannot outrun it. And the worst part, you feel guilty for feeling this way. How dare you feel empty when you have so much love around you? How dare you feel numb when someone is holding your hand? That guilt becomes a second layer of pain, and now you are not just empty, you are ashamed of your emptiness. So you smile harder, you hug longer, you perform the role of the person who is fine. And every single performance drains another drop of the life you used to feel. This is where we start, not with a solution, not with a positive quote, but with the truth that you have been hiding from yourself. You are not broken, you are not ungrateful, you are not a bad person. You are a human being who has lost the signal inside your own nervous system, and today we are going to find out why. Then we are going to rebuild it, brick by brick, habit by habit, neuron by neuron. No fluff, no lies, just the raw, hard, beautiful work of coming back to life. Section 1, the prison of performance and the death of authenticity. You have become an actor in your own life. Think about the last time you walked into your home after a brutal day at work. Your boss publicly humiliated you in a meeting. Your project was rejected. You sat in your car for 12 minutes just staring at the steering wheel. Then you opened the door and suddenly you were fine. You said, "Hey, how was your day?" As if your soul had not just been dragged through gravel. That performance is not kindness, it is survival. And survival mode, when it becomes a permanent state, is a form of slow dying. The psychology behind this is brutal but simple. Your brain has a built-in threat detection system called the amygdala. When it senses danger, emotional danger, not just physical, it activates a stress response. Cortisol floods your system. Your heart rate changes. And here is the trap. Your brain cannot tell the difference between being chased by a tiger and being rejected by someone you love. The same chemicals, the same shutdown. Over time, if you constantly suppress your true emotions to keep the peace or to avoid burdening others, your brain learns a dangerous habit. It learns that showing your real self equals pain. So it protects you by numbing everything. Not just the bad feelings, all of them. You have trained yourself to be a machine. Wake up, perform, smile. Agree, suppress, sleep, repeat. And the people around you have no idea because you are so good at the performance. They see the mask and they love the mask, and that makes it even harder to take the mask off. Because what if they only love the performance? What if the real you, the empty you, the struggling you is too much for them? That fear becomes a prison guard, and you have been paying that guard with your vitality for years. Let me tell you what this looks like in real life. You are at a family dinner. Your partner makes a comment that stings. It is small, almost nothing. But underneath that small comment is a pattern of feeling unseen. In a healthy emotional system, you would say, "Hey, that actually hurt a little." But you do not. Instead, you feel a flash of something, anger, sadness, confusion, and then you swallow it. You change the subject. You make a joke. And the people at the table laugh, and the moment passes, and you tell yourself you did the mature thing. But you did not do the mature thing. You did the dead thing. You killed a tiny piece of your emotional truth to avoid a tiny moment of discomfort. Do that 10 times a day for 10 years and you will wake up feeling exactly how you feel right now. Empty. Your internal dialogue has become a tyrant. Listen to the voice inside your head when you feel that emptiness creeping in. What does it say? I bet it says something like, "What is wrong with me? Everyone else seems fine. I have no right to feel this way. I am being dramatic. I should just get over it." That voice is not the truth. That voice is the echo of every time you were told to stop crying, to toughen up, to not be so sensitive. That voice is the ghost of a culture that values productivity over presence. And you have mistaken that voice for wisdom. It is not wisdom. It is a wound that learned to talk. Here is the shift that changes everything. Emptiness is not the absence of feelings. Emptiness is the presence of suppressed feelings. You are not empty because you have nothing inside you. You are empty because you have locked so much inside you that your nervous system has gone on strike. Think of a computer running too many programs in the background. It freezes. It stops responding. That is your brain. You are not broken. You are overwhelmed. And the first act of discipline is not to feel more. It is to stop suppressing less. Your body language has been lying to everyone, including yourself. When you feel empty around people you love, notice what your body does. Shoulders slightly forward, chest slightly collapsed. Eyes that look at people but do not really see them. A smile that does not reach your eyes. That posture is not neutral. That posture is a signal your body is sending to your brain. And your brain listens. When you collapse your chest and soften your gaze, your brain releases chemicals that match that posture. You are literally manufacturing your own emptiness through the way you hold yourself. This is not spiritual nonsense. This is biology. Your body and mind are a loop. Change the body and the mind follows. Your environment is making this worse. Look at the spaces you inhabit, your bedroom, your car, your office. Are they spaces where you can be real, or are they spaces where you have to perform? Many of you live in environments that demand constant politeness, constant agreement, constant positivity. That is not a home, that is a stage, and you are the only actor. If you cannot walk into your own living room and say, "I am struggling today and I do not need you to fix it, I just need you to know," then you are living in a prison painted to look like a home. Your environment should be a place where your mask can rest. If it is not, you will never stop performing. Real life scenario. You just got rejected for a promotion you worked 3 years to earn. Your partner asks, "Are you okay?" And you say, "Yeah, it is fine." Their loss. Then you go sit on the couch and scroll through your phone for 2 hours. That is not processing. That is hiding. And your partner cannot help you because you have not let them in. They see your blank face and your casual words and they believe you, so they stop asking. And now you are even more alone, even more empty, even more convinced that no one understands. But here is the truth they do not understand because you did not tell them. You did not say, "I am devastated. I feel like a failure. I need you to just hold me and say nothing." That sentence would have changed everything, but you swallowed it. Again, the challenge for today is not to fix everything. The challenge is to stop lying in one small moment. Before this day ends, find a single moment where you would normally suppress a real feeling. Maybe it is annoyance at a small comment. Maybe it is sadness about a memory. Maybe it is just exhaustion. And instead of performing, say one true sentence. "I am tired. Actually bothered me a little. I am not as okay as I look." Do not explain. Do not defend. Just say one true sentence to one person. Notice what happens in your body when you do. That is the first crack in the prison wall. Section 2, the neuroscience of numbness. Why your brain turned down the volume. You need to understand what is happening inside your skull because you cannot fix what you do not understand. Your brain has a reward system designed to keep you alive and motivated. The main character in this system is a chemical called dopamine. For years, you have heard that dopamine is about pleasure. That is wrong. Dopamine is about anticipation. It is the chemical that says, "Do that thing again, something good might happen." Every time you laugh with a friend, every time you solve a problem at work, every time you feel a moment of connection, your brain releases a small squirt of dopamine. That squirt is what makes life feel worth living. It is the fuel for joy, curiosity, and energy. But here is where you have been betrayed by your own survival instincts. When you experience chronic stress, and make no mistake, the pressure of modern life is chronic stress. Your brain does something that seems helpful but is actually destructive. It downregulates your dopamine receptors. Think of your dopamine receptors as little landing pads. When you have plenty of landing pads, even a small amount of dopamine feels good. But when you are constantly stressed, your brain says, "There is too much noise in this system. We need to turn down the volume." So it removes landing pads. Fewer receptors means the same amount of dopamine has less effect. You need more and more stimulation just to feel normal. And eventually, even that stops working. This is the neuroscience of emptiness. You are not broken. Your brain has literally turned down its own volume to protect you from the intensity of a life that feels overwhelming. The problem is that protection has become a prison. You do not feel joy because your joy receptors are covered in dust. You do not feel sadness because your sadness receptors have been muted. You feel nothing because your brain decided, months or years ago, that feeling anything was too dangerous. And it has been running that program ever since. Now let us talk about the habit loop that keeps you stuck. Every habit has three parts: a trigger, a routine, and a reward. Your trigger might be walking through the door after work, or sitting down to dinner with your family, or being in a social situation where you feel pressure to be happy. The routine is what you do next. You check your phone, you turn on the television, you start thinking about work, you make a joke to change the subject, anything to avoid the discomfort of the moment. And the reward is temporary relief. You do not have to feel the emptiness for a few more minutes. The problem is that this routine trains your brain to associate your loved ones with avoidance. You are not building connection. You are building escape. Think about the last time you were with someone you love and you felt that wave of emptiness. What did you do? Did you reach for your phone? Did you start cleaning? Did you find a reason to leave the room? That is the routine. And every time you run that routine, you deepen the neural pathway that says, connection is dangerous, escape is safety. You are not a bad person for doing this. You are a human being with a brain that learned a pattern, but patterns can be unlearned. Neural pathways can be rerouted. The brain has a quality called neuroplasticity. It can change, but it will not change on its own. It will change only when you introduce new routines with enough consistency to carve new pathways. Here is a truth that will sting but set you free. You are addicted to the numbness, not because you want to be, but because numbness is predictable. Feeling nothing is safe. Feeling nothing means you will not be hurt again, but feeling nothing also means you will not be loved again. You cannot selectively numb. You cannot say, I will numb the pain but keep the joy. That is not how the nervous system works. When you suppress sadness, you also suppress laughter. When you avoid anger, you also avoid passion. The same door that locks out the wolves locks out the sunlight. And you have been standing in the dark for so long that you have forgotten what sunlight feels like. Your fear response has been hijacked by your own thoughts. The amygdala, which I mentioned earlier, does not care about logic. It cares about patterns. If you have a history of rejection, your amygdala will trigger a fear response every time you are in a situation that even vaguely resembles that past rejection. You are at a party. Someone glances at you the wrong way. Your amygdala says, danger. Your body tenses. Your mind goes blank. And then you withdraw, not because the present moment is dangerous, but because your brain is projecting the past onto the present. This is called generalization. And it is the reason you feel empty around people who have never hurt you. Your brain does not know the difference between the person who abandoned you and the person who loves you. It only knows the pattern. So what do you do with this information? You stop blaming yourself for feeling empty. You stop calling yourself ungrateful. You recognize that your brain has been doing its job, protecting you, in a way that no longer serves you. The emptiness is not a character flaw. It is a neurological adaptation to an environment that felt threatening. And the first step to changing that adaptation is to stop fighting it and start understanding it. When you feel that wave of nothingness, instead of panicking or performing, say this to yourself. My brain is doing its best to protect me, but I am safe right now. I do not need to check out. Action step for today. Pick one person you love, one person you trust at least a little. And before you see them, set a timer for 5 minutes. For those 5 minutes, you are not allowed to escape. No phone, no television, no changing the subject, no making jokes. You are going to sit with them and do nothing but be present. You do not have to say anything deep. You do not have to share your pain. You just have to stay in the room. Notice what your body wants to do. It will want to flee. It will want to reach for something. Do not obey that impulse. Just stay. When the 5 minutes are over, you have won. You have carved a tiny new pathway in your brain that says, I can be present without being destroyed. Do this every day for 2 weeks. Watch what changes. Section 3, the prison of self-talk. How you became your own worst enemy. The voice inside your head has become a weapon aimed at your own chest. And you have been pulling the trigger every single day. Let me prove it to you. When you feel empty around someone you love, what is the first thought that appears? Write it down if you have to. I will bet you anything it is something like, why are you like this? What is wrong with you? Everyone else is fine. You are so dramatic. You are so broken. You are so selfish. You have everything and you still feel like this. You are a monster. That is not self-talk, that is self-destruction. And you have been listening to that voice as if it were the truth. It is not the truth, it is a habit. A toxic, deeply ingrained neural habit that you learned so long ago you have forgotten you learned it at all. Let us go back to your childhood for a moment. Not to blame your parents, not to wallow, but to understand. When you were young, if you expressed a difficult emotion, sadness, anger, fear, what happened? Were you held? Were you listened to? Or were you told to stop crying? Were you sent to your room? Were you told that you were too sensitive? For most of you, the answer is the second one. And your tiny, developing brain learned a devastating lesson. My real feelings are not welcome. If I want to be loved, I must hide what I truly feel. That lesson became a rule. That rule became a voice. And that voice has been running your life ever since. Now you are an adult. You have power that child did not have. You have choices that child did not have. But you are still following the old rule. You are still hiding your feelings to keep the love you are terrified of losing. And here is the cruel irony. You are losing the love anyway, not the love of others. You are losing your ability to feel the love of others. They can love you with their whole hearts and you will feel nothing because you have disconnected from your own emotional system. The love is there. It is real, but you are not home to receive it. You have locked yourself out of your own house and you are standing in the cold, complaining that no one let you in. Your internal dialogue needs a complete rewrite. And not with fluffy, fake positive affirmations that make you want to vomit. Real self-talk is not about lying to yourself. It is about stopping the lies you already believe. The lie is that you are broken. The truth is that you are injured. Broken means cannot be fixed. Injured means can heal with the right care. The lie is that you are alone in this. The truth is that millions of high-functioning, loved, successful people feel exactly what you feel every single day. They just do not talk about it. The lie is that your emptiness proves you are ungrateful. The truth is that your emptiness proves you are human. Every human being with a nervous system will go through periods of numbness. It is not a moral failure. It is biology. Here is the shift. You are going to stop asking, "What is wrong with me?" and start asking, "What happened to me?" That one word changes everything. Wrong implies a defect. Happened implies a story, and every story can be rewritten. When you feel that emptiness rising, instead of attacking yourself, get curious. Say, "Oh, there is that feeling again. Interesting. What just triggered it? What did I want to say but did not say? What did I want to feel but did not allow?" Curiosity is the enemy of numbness. You cannot be curious and checked out at the same time. Curiosity forces your brain to engage. And engagement is the first step back to feeling. Real-life scenario. You are at work. A colleague dismisses your idea in a meeting. You feel a flash of anger, then emptiness. The anger was real, it was alive, but you swallowed it so fast it never reached your face. Now you are sitting at your desk feeling nothing. Your internal dialogue says, "It does not matter, they always do this. I should just keep my mouth shut next time." That voice is protecting you from conflict, but it is also killing your passion. Your passion and your anger come from the same source. Kill one and you wound the other. The person who cannot get angry is the person who cannot get excited. The person who never complains is the person who never truly celebrates. So what does a new internal dialogue sound like? It sounds like this. "I feel something. I do not know what it is yet, but I feel something. And that is good. That means I am alive. I'm not going to act on this feeling right now. I'm not going to explode or collapse. I'm just going to notice it. Hello, feeling, I see you. You are allowed to be here. You do not have to leave. You do not have to take over. You can just be here and I will be here with you." That is not weakness. That is emotional mastery. That is the self-talk of someone who is done running from themselves. Your body language and your self-talk are locked in a dance. When your internal dialogue is full of self-attack, your body responds. Shoulders drop. Head tilts down. Breathing becomes shallow. That posture then feeds back into your self-talk. See, you are slouching again, you are pathetic. It is a loop, a death spiral. You can break the loop from either end. If you cannot change your thoughts yet, and many of you cannot, the habit is too strong, then change your body. Stand up. Roll your shoulders back. Lift your chin. Section 3. The prison of self-talk, how you became your own worst enemy. The voice inside your head has become a weapon aimed at your own chest. And you have been pulling the trigger every single day. Let me prove it to you. When you feel empty around someone you love, what is the first thought that appears? Write it down if you have to. I will bet you anything it is something like, why are you like this? What is wrong with you? Everyone else is fine. You are so dramatic. You are so broken. You are so selfish. You have everything and you still feel like this. You are a monster. That is not self-talk. That is self-destruction. And you have been listening to that voice as if it were the truth. It is not the truth. It is a habit. A toxic, deeply ingrained neural habit that you learned so long ago you have forgotten you learned it at all. Let us go back to your childhood for a moment. Not to blame your parents, not to wallow, but to understand. When you were young, if you expressed a difficult emotion, sadness, anger, fear, what happened? Were you held? Were you listened to, or were you told to stop crying? Were you sent to your room? Were you told that you were too sensitive? For most of you, the answer is the second one. And your tiny developing brain learned a devastating lesson. My real feelings are not welcome. If I want to be loved, I must hide what I truly feel. That lesson became a rule. That rule became a voice. And that voice has been running your life ever since. Now you are an adult. You have power that child did not have. You have choices that child did not have. But you are still following the old rule. You are still hiding your feelings to keep the love you are terrified of losing. And here is the cruel irony. You are losing the love anyway, not the love of others. You are losing your ability to feel the love of others. They can love you with their whole hearts and you will feel nothing because you have disconnected from your own emotional system. The love is there. It is real, but you are not home to receive it. You have locked yourself out of your own house and you are standing in the cold, complaining that no one let you in. Your internal dialogue needs a complete rewrite. And not with fluffy, fake positive affirmations that make you want to vomit. Real self-talk is not about lying to yourself. It is about stopping the lies you already believe. The lie is that you are broken. The truth is that you are injured. Broken means cannot be fixed. Injured means can heal with the right care. The lie is that you are alone in this. The truth is that millions of high-functioning, loved, successful people feel exactly what you feel every single day. They just do not talk about it. The lie is that your emptiness proves you are ungrateful. The truth is that your emptiness proves you are human. Every human being with a nervous system will go through periods of numbness. It is not a moral failure. It is biology. Here is the shift. You are going to stop asking, what is wrong with me? And start asking, what happened to me? That one word changes everything. Wrong implies a defect. Happened implies a story, and every story can be rewritten. When you feel that emptiness rising, instead of attacking yourself, get curious. Say, oh, there is that feeling again. Interesting. What just triggered it? What did I want to say but did not say? What did I want to feel but did not allow? Curiosity is the enemy of numbness. You cannot be curious and checked out at the same time. Curiosity forces your brain to engage. And engagement is the first step back to feeling. Real-life scenario, you are at work. A colleague dismisses your idea in a meeting. You feel a flash of anger, then emptiness. The anger was real. It was alive. But you swallowed it so fast it never reached your face. Now you are sitting at your desk feeling nothing. Your internal dialogue says, it does not matter, they always do this. I should just keep my mouth shut next time. That voice is protecting you from conflict, but it is also killing your passion. Your passion and your anger come from the same source. Kill one and you wound the other. The person who cannot get angry is the person who cannot get excited. The person who never complains is the person who never truly celebrates. So what does a new internal dialogue sound like? It sounds like this. I feel something. I do not know what it is yet, but I feel something, and that is good. That means I am alive. I'm not going to act on this feeling right now. I'm not going to explode or collapse. I'm just going to notice it. Hello, feeling, I see you. You are allowed to be here. You do not have to leave. You do not have to take over. You can just be here and I will be here with you. That is not weakness. That is emotional mastery. That is the self-talk of someone who is done running from themselves. Your body language and your self-talk are locked in a dance. When your internal dialogue is full of self-attack, your body responds. Shoulders drop, head tilts down, breathing becomes shallow. That posture then feeds back into your self-talk. See, you are slouching again. You are pathetic. It is a loop, a death spiral. You can break the loop from either end. If you cannot change your thoughts yet, and many of you cannot, the habit is too strong, then change your body. Stand up, roll your shoulders back, lift your chin, take 3 deep breaths. That posture tells your brain we are not in danger. We are strong enough to feel something. Your brain believes your body more than it believes your thoughts. Use that. The challenge for this section is hard. I want you to catch yourself in the act of negative self-talk today. And when you hear that voice say something cruel, I want you to say out loud, stop. Just one word, stop. You do not have to replace it with anything yet. You do not have to be positive, you just have to interrupt the pattern. Interruption is the first step to reprogramming. Every time you say stop to that voice, you are building a new neural pathway. The old pathway says attack yourself. The new pathway says pause. Over time, that pause becomes a space. And in that space, you will eventually be able to choose a different response. But you cannot choose anything until you create the space. So start with stop. Say it out loud. Say it in your car. Say it in the bathroom. Say it to yourself when no one is listening. Stop. That is not crazy. That is discipline section 4. The daily rituals that bring you back to life. You cannot think your way out of emptiness. You cannot read enough books, listen to enough podcasts, or attend enough therapy sessions to feel alive again if your daily habits are designed to keep you numb. Your habits are the architecture of your nervous system. Change the habits and you change the architecture. This is not spiritual advice. This is behavioral psychology, and it works if you work it. I am going to give you 3 habits. They are not complicated. They are not glamorous. They are not fun, but they will rebuild your emotional capacity from the ground up. And you will do them even when you do not feel like it, especially when you do not feel like it. Because feeling like it is a luxury you cannot afford right now. You need discipline, not motivation. Habit 1. The 5-minute emotional inventory. Every single day at the same time, I recommend right after you wake up or right before you sleep, you will sit alone for 5 minutes. No phone, no music, no distractions. You will ask yourself 3 questions. 1. What did I feel today? List as many emotions as you can remember, even the small ones, even the ones that lasted 3 seconds. 2. What did I want to feel but did not allow myself to feel? This is the important one. 3. What emotion did I pretend to feel that I did not actually feel? Write the answers down, a notebook, a phone note. It does not matter, but write them. This habit forces your brain to practice emotional awareness. Right now, your brain is out of practice. You have been ignoring your feelings for so long that you have forgotten how to name them. Naming is the first step to tamming. Neuroscience calls this effective labeling. When you name an emotion, your amygdala calms down, literally. The fear center of your brain reduces its activity. You are not just journaling, you are medicating your own nervous system. Habit 2. The 10-minute presence challenge. You will choose one ordinary activity every day, drinking your coffee, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, walking to your car, and you will do it with complete, undivided attention. No thinking about work, no replaying conversations, no planning dinner, just the activity. Feel the water on your skin, taste the coffee, notice the bristles of the toothbrush. When your mind wanders, and it will constantly, you gently bring it back. This is not meditation in the traditional sense. This is training your attention muscle. Emptiness is the absence of attention. When you are not present with what is right in front of you, your brain drifts into the past or the future. The past brings regret. The future brings anxiety. Both produce numbness because your brain cannot process regret and anxiety simultaneously without shutting down. Presence produces feeling. It is that simple. You cannot feel empty while you are truly tasting an orange. Try it. The orange will win every time. Habit 3. The 1-minute truth. This is the hardest habit. Every day you will find one moment to speak one true sentence about your internal state to another human being. Not a complaint, not a demand, just a fact. I feel anxious today. I am feeling disconnected. I am tired in a way that sleep will not fix. I felt sad when you said that earlier. You do not need a response. You do not need them to fix it. You just need to say it out loud to another person. This habit breaks the seal on the pressure cooker. Right now, all your suppressed emotions are building pressure, and pressure without release becomes numbness. The release does not have to be a dramatic confession. It just has to be real. One sentence, 1 minute. One person every day. Now let me address the resistance you are feeling. You are already thinking, I cannot do that. They will think I am crazy. They will think I am weak. They will worry. They will leave. That resistance is the habit of suppression talking. That resistance is the voice of the prison guard. You have spent years training people around you to believe you are fine, and now you are afraid to break that contract. But here is the truth. The people who truly love you already know something is wrong. They feel the distance. They see the emptiness in your eyes. They just do not know how to ask. And every day you stay silent, they fill the silence with their own stories. He does not trust me. She does not love me anymore. I must have done something wrong. Your silence is hurting them more than your truth ever could. Your 1-minute truth is not a burden. It is a gift. It gives them permission to stop guessing and start being with you. Your environment must support these habits. Look at your bedroom. Is there a phone next to your bed? That phone is a dopamine slot machine. Every notification is a tiny hit of anticipation that keeps your reward system in a state of chronic overstimulation. Overstimulation leads to downregulation. Downregulation leads to emptiness. You cannot do a 5-minute emotional inventory if you check your phone first. You cannot be present while scrolling. You need to redesign your environment to make the healthy habit easier and the unhealthy habit harder. Put your phone in another room when you sleep. Delete the apps that steal your attention. Create a corner in your home, even if it is just a chair. That is a technology-free zone. That corner becomes your practice space. Your nervous system will learn that this corner means safety, presence, feeling. And it will start to relax the moment you sit there. Real-life scenario. You have been doing these habits for 2 weeks. You are at a family gathering. Someone says something that would normally trigger your emptiness. But this time, something is different. You notice the trigger. You feel a flicker of irritation. Your old habit would have swallowed it, but your new habit of emotional inventory has made you faster at noticing. Your new habit of presence has made you more grounded. Your new habit of truth-telling has made your vocal cords braver. So instead of numbing out, you say to yourself internally, I am irritated. You take a breath. You do not act on the irritation. You do not explode. You just acknowledge it. And because you acknowledged it, it does not turn into emptiness. It just stays irritation. Then it passes. 30 seconds, that is it. You have just changed a decade-old pattern in 30 seconds. That is the power of daily habits, the challenge for this section. Start habit 1 tonight. Before you sleep, take 5 minutes. Name 3 feelings you had today. They do not have to be deep. They can be bored, annoyed, tired. Just name them, write them down. Tomorrow, add habit 2. Choose one activity and do it with full presence. The day after, add habit 3. One true sentence to one person. Do not try to do all 3 perfectly on day 1. That is how people quit. You are building a foundation. Foundations are built slowly, layer by layer. And if you do these 3 habits every day for 30 days, you will not recognize the person looking back at you in the mirror. Not because you changed who you are, but because you finally showed up as who you have always been. Section 5. The return. How to feel again without losing yourself. You have been waiting for permission to feel. Permission to be sad without someone trying to fix you. Permission to be angry without being called aggressive. Permission to be tired without being called lazy. Permission to be empty without being called broken. I am giving you that permission right now, not because I have authority over you, but because you have been waiting for someone to say what you already know is true. You are allowed to feel empty. You are allowed to feel nothing. You are allowed to feel everything. And you are allowed to change from one moment to the next. That is not inconsistency. That is being human. The goal is not to eliminate emptiness. The goal is to stop being afraid of it. Because when you stop being afraid of the emptiness loses its power over you. Here is the paradox you must embrace. The more you try to feel something, the more numb you become. Effort is the enemy of emotion. Emotions are not produced by effort. They emerge when you stop trying. Think about trying to fall asleep. The harder you try, the more awake you become. Emotions work the same way. You cannot force yourself to feel joy at a birthday party when you are exhausted. You cannot force yourself to feel love during an argument when you are hurt. The trying is the problem. The performance is the problem. The pressure to be a certain way is the problem. So you are going to stop trying. You are going to stop performing. You are going to let yourself be exactly as you are in every moment. Not because that is easy, but because pretending is killing you. The shift from strength, not weakness. You think vulnerability is weakness because you have been taught that showing emotion is a loss of control. But here is what you have not been taught. Control is not the absence of emotion. Control is the ability to feel an emotion without being destroyed by it. A person who cannot feel anger is not in control of their anger. They are controlled by their fear of anger. A person who cannot feel sadness is not in control of their sadness. They are controlled by their fear of sadness. True strength is feeling the wave and staying standing. True strength is saying, I am sad, and not collapsing. True strength is saying, I am angry and not destroying. You have confused numbness with strength. Numbness is not strength. Numbness is surrender. It is your nervous system surrendering to the overwhelm. Strength is feeling the overwhelm and breathing through it. Your relationships are about to change. This is the part people do not warn you about. When you stop performing and start being real, some people will not know what to do with you. They are used to the mask. They are comfortable with the performance. Your realness will make them uncomfortable because it will highlight their own performance. And some of them will pull away. That is not a loss. That is a filter. The people who can only love your mask do not actually love you. They love the version of you that costs you nothing to maintain. The people who can love your realness, your emptiness, your struggling, your healing, those are your people. And you may discover that some of the people you thought were closest to you were actually just close to your performance. That will hurt, but that hurt is the pain of truth. And truth always heals more than lies protect. Let me give you a script for the hard conversations you are about to have. You are going to say this to the people you love. I need to tell you something. It is hard for me to say, so please just listen. I have been feeling empty inside, not because of you, not because of anything you did wrong. I have been performing for so long that I forgot how to feel. I am working on it. I'm not asking you to fix me. I'm just asking you to know. And sometimes I might not be able to smile or pretend. That does not mean I do not love you. It means I am trying to come back to myself. And I need you to stay. That is not weakness. That is the bravest thing a human being can say. That sentence contains more strength than every performance you have ever given combined. Your body language will lead the way when your mind is confused. You cannot always control your thoughts. But you can control your posture. You can control your breath. You can control where you put your attention. So when the emptiness hits, do this. Stand up, put your feet flat on the floor, roll your shoulders back. Lift your chin so it is parallel to the ground. Take a breath in for 4 counts, hold for 4, breathe out for 6, repeat 5 times, then look at something in the room, name it out loud. Blue wall, brown table, white cup. Then look at a person if there is one. Really look. Notice something you have never noticed about their face. The color of their eyes, the lines around their mouth. This sequence takes less than 60 seconds, and it will bring you back from the edge of numbness every single time. Not because of magic, because of biology. You are overriding the freeze response with intentional movement and attention, real-life scenario. You are at a large gathering, a birthday party, a work event, a holiday dinner. The emptiness starts to creep in. Your old self would have smiled through it, then gone home and collapsed. But your new self has tools. You excuse yourself to the bathroom. You do the posture and breath exercise. You name 5 things you see, then you go back to the party. But this time you do not try to be the life of the party. You do not try to be interesting or funny or charming. You just stand there, you let yourself be quiet. Someone asks if you are okay. Instead of saying, I am fine, you say, I am a little tired. But I am glad I am here. That is the truth, not the whole truth, but a true sentence. And that tiny honesty changes the entire energy of the interaction. You are no longer performing, you are participating. And participation is the opposite of emptiness, the final shift. You are going to stop seeing emptiness as an enemy and start seeing it as a signal. Every feeling of emptiness is a message from your nervous system. The message is not, you are broken. The message is, you have been ignoring something important for too long. You need rest. You need connection. You need to say something you have been afraid to say. You need to set a boundary. You need to ask for help. You need to stop doing something that is draining you. You need to start doing something that fills you. Emptiness is not the problem. Emptiness is the check engine light, and you have been covering the check engine light with tape instead of opening the hood. It is time to open the hood. It is time to look at what has been running empty for years. Your exhaustion, your unspoken boundaries, your suppressed dreams, your neglected body, your forgotten passions. The emptiness is not a punishment. It is an invitation, the challenge that never ends. You will feel empty again. That is not failure. That is life. The goal is not to never feel empty. The goal is to stop being destroyed by it. So here is your final challenge. The next time you feel that wave of nothingness in the presence of someone you love, you will not run. You will not reach for your phone. You will not change the subject. You will not fake a smile. You will stay. You will let the emptiness sit in the room with you. And you will say out loud or in your head, I see you. I'm not afraid of you. You are not the whole truth. You are just a feeling, and feelings change. Then you will take one small action. You will reach out and touch the person next to you. You will ask them a real question about their day. You will tell them one true thing about yours. That action will not cure you, but it will prove to yourself that you are still here, still fighting, still alive, and that is enough. That has always been enough. Say this out loud. I give myself permission to stop performing and start living. My emptiness is not my identity. It is just a season, and seasons change.